Peter Obi stirred up conversation when he said that Sam Miller Breweries is the highest tax-generating company in Anambra State.
He said brewery. Let me tell you, Rufai, I'm happy you're asking that question because people have talked about breweries and everything. Rufai, if I tell you what I suffered for that brewery to be built in Anambra State, you will not believe it. Not to do so. I had to go out trying to attract business to Anambra State. The biggest revenue earner in Enugu State is Ama Brewery. Ama Brewery in Enugu. The biggest earner, call it revenue source for Anambra today is that brewery.
But you said the government stake that he invested had gone down. That was not smart investment. Those are some of the things they say.
Thank you very much. I wish other people in Nigeria invested in something that went down. That's not smart. I said the biggest revenue earner, the revenue source is that brewery. That brewery is employing at least directly 500 Anambra people. That brewery is at least giving food to over 5,000 Anambrarians. Those who use it as business distributors, truck drivers, everything. I wish people are doing that. What we do is that we condemn what is that because of the way they've been treated. You know, they have the biggest brewery in Ogun State. Have you ever heard anybody say in Ogun State, oh, the brewery is it? They have a bigger brewery in Ogun State.
They say you brought poverty to Anambra. Those are the criticisms of Lagos State Governor recently. So they said, they say about they said, I think they accused you and they said under your tenure, poverty did increase and all of that. So you had no moral right to go to John Hopkins and talk about poverty.
You're talking about narrow interest and narrow assessment. Go and look at Nigerian Competitive Index. Go and look at it. I was governor of Anambra State from 2006. And I was impeached. So you can say I was governor of Anambra State from 2007 to 2014, 7 years. One of the first places I renovated as governor was industrial estate in Onitsha. Go there and see the number of industries. Jonathan commissioned at least 10 industries there. She'll come, I'll show it to you, including the brewery that I mentioned. That brewery is the biggest taxpayer in Anambra State. Pays government.
But in response, the state governor Soludo said that banks like Zenith, Access, and First Banks are actually the highest taxpayers. But come on, banks are not industries. The context of industries and development is what Peter B. was talking about. Industries produce things from paying excise duties on every drink, VAT on every sale, higher local, open supply chain, and paying direct levies to the state agencies. Their impact spreads across communities. Now let's compare that to the banks. The banks don't manufacture anything. They don't pay excise duties. They don't generate VAT from goods. They hire mostly office staff. And of course, most of these staff do not even live in Anambra State. Their salaries are just processed through branches. Again, taxes come from staff salary, not even from the bank's own profit. Secondly, all taxes are not the same. So when Soludo says banks are the highest taxpayer in Anambra State, was he really referring to payee or withholding tax? That's WHT. Payee is not tax the bank pays from its profit. It is tax that is deducted from employees' salary, while withholding tax is tax deducted when a company pays contractors or service providers. So the money is not from the bank's profit. It is from workers' earnings, people like you and me. It's the employee and the service providers who are being taxed, not the bank itself. So the bank is not giving up anything from its pocket. So what kind of argument is that? It's just like you saying that the ATM is richer than the man who deposited money in it just because it owes the money. And here is where it gets even more ironic. None of these banks have their headquarters in Anambra State. Their main operations and profit centers are in Lagos and Abuja. What they are doing in Anambra is just processing money and using it as a collection point for salary taxes across the country. So let me tell you that even the state government allocation from Abuja is paid in these banks. Civil servant salaries, same bank. Contractors pay through these banks. And let me also tell you that Sam Miller itself might be holding money in some of these banks. So again, these banks are just vessels. They owe the money everyone else has created, and the taxes have been deducted. Soludo's own goal. In an attempt to undermine Peter Obi, Soludo presented data showing that Access, Zenith, and Fidelity are actually the top contributors to the state's IGR. But here's the irony. These three banks are actually the exact ones Peter Obi invested Anambra's money in when he was governor. So what Soludo has done, perhaps unknowingly, is confirm that even a decade after Peter Obi left office, It is still Obi's financial vision sustaining Anambra revenue base. Those banks' investment are still the biggest tax contributor today. So thanks to Peter Obi, not the other way around. And this is where it even gets worse, because if after 9 years, no new major private business or manufacturing industry has come into Anambra to surpass SAP Miller or even match up Obi's bank investment, then the data doesn't just prove Obi right. It proves Soludo has added no value to the state. What the governor did was lazy comparison and frankly an insult to common sense. You cannot compare a factory that produces goods, employs hundreds, pays local levies, boosts local supply chains, and drives physical economic activity with a bank that simply processes money and pays salary. It is ridiculous, shallow argument, and it shows either a lack of understanding of how economics work or a deliberate attempt to downplay the contributions of productive businesses. And if a sitting governor cannot tell the difference between who owns wealth and who creates it, then we have a much bigger problem than just tax records. It's one unchecked governor at a time. Take care and have a nice day.